It's a good view in the morning. And welcome back outside on Indian Trace. Of course, I have some artifacts that I want to show you. And if you can see them from a distance here, I've been finding, a handful here and there. Of course, I've got a group here that I found yesterday that I want to show you. A couple here and then another piece over here. But let's take about a 20-foot stroll. Now, this right here is the result of all the footprints, which are the weed yankers. And I know they don't care too much for the artifacts, and I'm not even sure, as I mentioned before, that many of them don't know what they are. I'm sure they could be curious to some, because as human beings we're intellects. But the deeper meaning of it all, let alone the prehistoric history of the North American Indian, for our own children in this own country with our own public education system, because of socialism, has been hidden. The true history of what transpired, not just through the Indian Wars, but prior to the Indian Wars, from about 1200 AD up. But I'm not going to get going on that. I love the history of it. But here at the clay pot, I have a really great piece of pottery. It's unique. It looks like it has a hole drilled in it, and I have some great artifacts. And since many of you, through comments and everything, I know you, and I welcome you out here. I know it's a big deal for you guys to get the experience of this air and the dirt. So I just do my best at that. And we could have had a live find. We've done that before, where I just circle up a little and then come back to the find that I've had. It's quiet out here. I thank God for good friends, right? I have a good friend who owns this property. Now let's go over to my marker. But there's a lot of rocks all over, so don't mind my frantic looking around here. And I try just to go slow, I try to be well and go slow. I tell a lot of you that, though. Look at this. From this angle, I stepped over and I said, look at that piece of pottery. It is the clay pot. Now, if you look closely, it's got some great texture, but I think this is on purpose a drilled hole in it. It's got a little piece of dirt, a little sticker, piece of wood coming through it. So we'll check that out. I like purposed holes and things drilled in pottery. I mean, it's so ancient. We're talking probably 2,000 years old for that, at least 1,500. Here's another piece of pottery I found here at the clay pot. Next to the contrast of this point, I think the pottery is going to zoot it out. So let me see if I can get this. This is incredible. Piece of quartz. A genuine heartbreaker. But listen, many of you know already, I don't even have to justify it. Being able to, there's some good exposure. Collect is a secondary thing. Being able to be out here and have the freedom of religion to pray, to thank God for working in my life to comfort my loved ones who are suffering, who have needs, knowing that He'll take care of mine. If we do our best to make other people richer, the richer we become. Look at these pieces, great stuff. And again, last video, congratulations to the winner of the Masters giveaway. It's really a Masters giveaway because I went into my display box and chose out some pieces that I believe were made by some masters. Now this quartz on the dirt isn't coming out real good, so let me see if I can get a good exposure. In the video before this, if you haven't seen it, how about that crystal? It's crazy, isn't it? Workmanship on this marl mountain. Jeez, it's not coming out, is it? Some great artifacts. You can't even shake a stick at those. My word. Now let's look at that piece of pottery. I sure wish that would even come in. This is an incredible piece. Maybe it's that that's doing it. Nah. You hate that, don't you? I know. We'll move on. Sure as you live, that hole is made on purpose. Those of you who find pottery, you know, some people find a boatload. We don't. Look at the differentiation in the cross-hatching there and the vertical there. That's probably the top of it. Can't say, but I do know that that hole is purposed. So that makes that piece really unique. Drilled. Etched in there maybe with a stick. Excuse me. It's all old. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you find